guys, this is Ryan from El Topo Loco, and welcome to the Loco Dojo. This is a brand new series that we are starting with other teams all across DBS, and we're hoping to bring a lot of the community together and also try to do some team wars. So basically today we're going to have a best of one match. Today we have Dane and Brandon. Dane's from the Jokru, and Brandon's from El Topo Loco. And basically we're going to have them play it out today, and then next week Chris and I are going to play for the second round, and then finally we're going to have the team captains from both Jokru and El Topo Loco, Miguel and Jonic, play against each other, and we're going to see who wins in this best of three. We are doing team wars, but we're still kind of working out the details of how we're going to do it. But just for simplicity's sake, we're not doing deck checks, and we're just making sure that we have different archetypes and different leaders. If two different players have Sensu Bean or something, we're not going to hold that against them just for simplicity's sake. Hopefully this will grow eventually, and maybe eventually we could have a community tournament with actual team wars. But we are first just trying to get this started. But let's introduce our players. First, from the Jokru, we have Dane. He has topped a few webcams, including a second place finish with the creation of Golden Frieza. And yes, it is the ones that Cross Worlds played. And then he finally got 17th place at the 2020 Chicago Regionals that January. How you doing today, Dane?
Oh, we're just dandy on this fine Saturday evening.
All right, great. And from El Topo Loco, we have Brandon. He is top 16 at PPT Philly, top 8 at the PPT Invitational, and he won the PPG World's Easter event, and I believe you might even be getting a World's invite. Is that true, Brandon?
Yeah, when the PPG Worlds is announced, I will have an invitation for that.
Awesome. All right, so we are going to show their match on Untapped today. I believe next week Chris and I are going to be doing it on webcam, and then finally Jonic and Miguel will be playing in person for the final matchup. So we have different variations of how we're going to have the setup. Both players have revealed what leaders they are playing. Dane is on Surge Broly, so this is a blast from the past, but we've seen Surge leaders be very, very powerful in the past and even currently. And then we have the most hated leader ever, Hachiak. So very fitting for Brandon. And both players are revealing their hands only to me, so they cannot see each other's hands. But we'll see how this goes. Good luck to both players. We already did the dice roll, and it looks like Brandon on Hachiak is going first.
Alrighty.
All right.
Mulligan, right?
Whenever you guys are ready, you guys can start the mulligan.
All right, cool.
All right, guys, so I'm going to be commentating post-match, so anything you guys hear me speaking at this moment will not be heard from the other players, just to give some commentary. You're also going to hear them talk as well. That would be live during the matchup, just to avoid any confusion while you're watching.
Yep.
Just making sure. Good luck, guy. Yep, good luck, man. All right, so we're going to... What's this? The leader stuff. Sure.
So Hachiak's just doing its typical early turns. You know, it's got to awaken, so it's got to do the mill and then the stack. It looks like we have a red-green version of Broly, which is not a surprise at all. This one looks like it's probably going to be a little bit aggressive rather than a hand control. We do see the Piccolo over there, and that's probably going to be the main aggressor in the early game. But we also see that new red-green Vegeta card, and Dane actually makes some really good use out of this card, and it's actually really impressive, the strategy he uses with it. But unfortunately, I mean, like, Hachiak is not a deck you could aggress, so we're going to see how this plays out.
Any blocks? No, you're good. I'll go ahead and combo with this blue pill and draw one. 15's fine. We'll take that. I will faster. So, let's charge this little guy, and we will do it.
So these early turns, Brandon's not really doing much with Hatch, but he does get the Unison out, it looks like. Yep. And that's going to allow him to draw and actually put a little bit of pressure onto the leader if he wants.
No negates. 15. Let's take it.
Might as well take advantage of this deck while it is tapped out.
I will charge my check.
I guess you could have drew if you wanted a combo of 5K, but he would have just been filtering. I think his hand is mostly 10Ks, and he's happy with what he has. So that's a 5K in hand, so he could probably go off with Piccolo if he really wants to this turn, especially with the trunks in the hand. But let's see what he does. Maybe he wants to just filter a little bit.
10's fine. Dead. I'll pay 2. For Piccolo. Big shock, big shock. That is a big guy. I will go ahead and replay this Trunks. Yes, sir. And I'll swing leader. No counters.
So getting Piccolo out early against Hatch is really, really nice because not only is he getting those double strikes off early before he can even awaken, he's also going to be burning off life and also drawing. And the longer that Piccolo is out, the more damage it's going to be able to do to Hatchiak in that early game until it gets to 2 life, and then at that point he could just aggress it with double strikers.
What are we going to do here? Those cards you have.
So Brandon has a pretty fat hand at this point, which is not a big deal. He's probably going to play Demigra if he can get one more into the drop, I'm guessing, which actually he should easily get it because of the leader effect. Probably do Demigra before he awakens, I'm thinking.
+1 on Unison to draw.
So if Brandon can really pick at the hand and then kill off that Piccolo, it would really hurt Dane's draw power. He does have a Piccolo backed up, but then he has to commit more energy and then also an arrival source just to do that.
Piccolo.
Now Piccolo being a 16K makes it a little awkward because Brandon really has to commit a card. But he has a big hand, so no big deal. Dane could have defended that really easily and actually drawn a card if he really wanted to. But I guess he just sees that he has another Piccolo. He could just play it next turn. There's that Demigra.
And we're going to take that little Trunks. Yeah.
So now he doesn't have to worry about killing the Trunks via battle. I mean, he could have done it with Leader or Unison, but now he did it via effects, so he doesn't worry about their revenge effect. So Brandon did the sequencing nice with Hatch, so now he still has room in his drop for Overwhelm next turn.
Order to warp 1. Yep. 30.
So the early game's not really tough for Brandon to put pressure onto the Broly Surge leader because he's probably going to be taking a lot of those big hits or filtering with the draw effect. Hatch is a 20K, so it's a little bit harder to combo over. And looks like Dane's just doing it to draw and take damage. Now he's got a super combo, which is really nice because now he can use that for his alliance next turn probably. But once Broly gets the late game, Brandon's really going to have to use his Unison and Leader to put that pressure on, probably with the double strike Champa, in order to push through that last few damage because Broly could just pop off a card. So either Brandon's going to have to bait him to use those effects, or he's just going to have to, commit to a Leader or Unison swing. So it looks like Dane charged Champa because he has a lot of energy exhaust cards in hand. And he also wants to probably charge mainly red. He probably could have also charged the Broly, but he figured he'd be able to save that later. Maybe pick out some super combos or some Kai negates. Now he's playing the Vegeta that I was talking about earlier. This is a 16K, so this could be a very good blocker because he could use it with his Leader effect and make it a 21K and not even lose a card in hand. So he could block either the Hatchiak draw or a Unison.
I'm going to Arrival Champa Beerus, and I'll give him double strike for the turn. This will be 26 double.
Okay. So he actually was going for the aggressive route, it looks like, making him 26 double. So Brandon's got to waste a lot of cards in hand. Luckily, he's got super combos, plenty of them.
Let's do
So he's probably going to combo out because he only gets one battle card swing per turn. So Dane really wants to make each swing effective. Looks like both. Oh no, he still has a Piccolo in hand, so he can use that for next turn. But he probably really wanted to establish that Vegeta.
So I can pick 2 on my drop, put them back. I'll do that. And then, so we'll go 30.
All right, so Brandon easily out combos that.
Yes, sir. I'll swing lead again. He's still a double strike, right? He sure is. It is for the turn.
And I guess he has dual attack.
We'll go ahead and combo Nappa again.
And the nice thing is that Beerus Champa, the rival card, allows it to have double strike for the whole turn. So he was able to put 2 different double strike on there. Brandon was able to use Annihilation to easily out combo that. And I guess he's getting rid of that Zarbon, which actually is really key because that's a free blocker every single turn. Well, not free. He would have to pay an energy, I think, or maybe discard a card. But that's just defense that he could keep using every single turn. But by getting rid of that from the drop, Brandon doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
With that, end of turn, Vegeta will restand, and I will pass turn. He's a blocker, right? He sure is. This card's crazy, dude. That card is very good.
So that Vegeta got 2 double strike attacks off, and it restands as a blocker.
Domingo is going to swing out leader.
Now Brandon can just play the long game. That's what Hatch usually does. He's going to whittle his hand. Looks like he's got Fushrider in his hand. He's got that Gogeta in hand, so he could just either whittle the hand or just kill him in one swipe with the Fushrouted. So Dane has a lot of pressure on him. The Piccolo Jr. might be able to put in some work over the next turn or 2 if it survives, getting some more draw power for Dane. Plus burning damage and pushing double strike through. It's either going to whittle away Brandon's hand or, bring him down to 2 life. Or possibly even 1 life.
Just go 20. I will combo with Paragus. Draw 3. Warp.
So the nice thing with the Broly Surge leader is with Paragus, he could actually draw from the leader first, get 1 draw, and then draw the 2 from Paragus. So he sees more cards and has more options to do the warping effect from Paragus. So he did that in the right order, which is nice.
We are going to...
Now, the Chi-Chi in Dane's hand is going to be really nice the longer he stays unawakened because of on either turn it basically becomes a +2.
We're going to swing a leader. No negates, no blocks. 15. I'll take it.
So now Dane's in his Surge mode. He can awaken at any time. Unfortunately, once he awakens, he loses a big draw power engine from his leader, but he can make up for that with those Piccolo... what's that called? Alliance effect.
It's pretty good. Ooh, that's a big guy.
Ooh. So he's been saving that in his hand for a while. He's been wanting to rip those negates out of the hand or at least just see what's in his hand.
I thought about tapping out.
Plenty of super combos. He's got 2 brainwashed in hand, so he's not going in with a double strike for game. Brandon could have played the 4-drop, or not the 4-drop, it's an 8-drop, but plays for 4. He could have done that with Gogeta last turn, but he didn't really want to tap out, and I guess he had no other energy he really wanted to use offensively.
Even for Hashiak, this is a lot in hand. It's not enough.
So Dane sees that even if he picks 1 card out, it's a lot for Hachiak. Brandon disagrees, but this is going to be really hard to push through.
Well, I mean, technically we can't take notes because Dragon Ball rules are sometimes very silly. We're going to take the Oceanus.
Alright, so Oceanus is pretty good because of Dane is going to realize he's going into the long game, so Oceanus would really hurt those late turns when he's really needed to push through for that final damage.
Dane, correct? That's correct. And Ryan, you can say him? You're good. Alright. He just does this and plays another one. Yep. I paid 2. The Pickle Man.
All right, so there's that Piccolo. He's going to do burn damage. He's going to draw him cards. So this is a really good card to keep out for at least the next turn or two. And with that Vegeta, he could use that for the Alliance, and it's just going to untap anyway for a blocker. So that's a really cool combo that he does.
I will tap Vegeta. Yep. So I take the life. Draw 2 and deal 1.
So now Brandon's down to 3. If he could do one more burn damage, now he's in that double strike zone. He just has to push through with the leader or even a battle card. And the leader can inherently get the double strike with the surge ability. So Dane can really, if he could keep that Piccolo alive one more turn, he could really push through possibly in the next few turns.
Counters. Okay. I'm going to... Which one's what I want to do here? Will Awaken. Mm-hmm. This is that combo? Right. Yep. Mid combo. Well, not awaken quite yet. We'll combo with Nappa, draw 1.
Okay, so it's always better to get that surge ability. Before the surge ability to draw first. So he's doing the super combo first, and now he's stacking for the surge ability. So he filtered at least one more card, put a little bit more pressure by giving that leader another extra 10k with the super combo. And then he's going to have 2 more energy to play with, and also be able to see 2 more cards from his deck.
You there? This guy, yeah, I was just thinking. No, you're good. You're good. Restand 2. Yep. Draw 2. I will use my lead skill. I'm going to go ahead and combo with this Paragus in my drop area.
All right, so Broly Surge allows him to get double strike and combo with any card from his drop area. So being able to use the Paragus super combo is really, really nice because now he gets to see more cards. Puts another 10k onto this. So he's at 35 double strike. So Brandon's either going to commit a lot of cards to defending this, or he's going to go down to 1. Now, going down to 1 would make him a threat to all of his battle cards. So if he plays anything big, then he's in trouble. But if he does combo out of this, he will be going down to 2 if that Piccolo lives next turn.
Let's do another Boo.
All right, so having that Boo really helps with the combo power.
Get rid of that Nappa in your gray.
So he's able to get rid of something he could combo with the leader, which is good. But Paragus is still going to go back to the drop anyway, so that's most likely what he would use if he does another double strike with the leader. Now, Fu Shrouded is a choice in the next turn or two, but if he still keeps a card underneath his leader, Fu Shrouded is not a threat to Dane. He could just pop it unless there's other threats. But with only 1 battle card swing, he will just pop whatever is the battle card swinging for game. So most likely Dane's probably going to try to save this because he did see the hand with Broly Crown. So he probably knows that Fu is a threat, especially with 12 in the drop. He does have those Majin Boos in hand. He could use that to stall for another turn or 2 possibly. He does have that 1-drop Goku, which would be really, really nice because not only will it draw him a card, it would become a 25k, which would make his Piccolo alliance super, super strong. So Dane's just trying to figure out probably, like, does he want to commit more energy for playing stuff?
I'm just going to play this Trunks. Turn.
Yeah, so he puts a revenge blocker. He has 2 energy open, so he has that for a shocking death ball and a Boo. And Boo is basically like the Topo version. But the nice thing about Boo, which is probably why he's running Boo over Topo, is that you only have to discard with Boo if Boo gets played successfully. Topo, if he gets counterplayed, you still have to discard.
Yeah, no, I'm so used to just doing it like this. Sure. I'm so used to it. Let's do Vegeta restands.
So that Mass Saiyan in Brandon's hand would be really nice against the super combos because every time Dane plays a Nappa via the effect, he would have to drop 2 cards from hand.
I'm going to attempt to Bupo.
All right, so blue is nice.
You have to tap 2 green for that, don't you?
He is 1 green and 1.
Okay, so he's only 1 green. So Boo is nice. But the thing is, if he's successful being played, he's dropping 1 from that, and then also dropping 1 from Demagra. So Brandon's just really whittling at the hand at the moment. I'm guessing Dane just realizes he just needs to keep that Piccolo alive and maybe just live 1 or 2 more turns. Probably push a little bit next turn with that Piccolo Alliance, draw more cards, burn some damage, maybe push through with his leader, but again, he might want to save that effect just in case Fushrouda comes out.
-2 on my units. Sounds good. So, go with that. And then, what are we gonna do here? Discard 2 cards. That's a lot. It is. It is. We'll tap 1 and we'll play this guy. Sure. That's any card, right? Just can't attack. Yep. We are gonna pass turn.
So Brandon's leaving a lot of energy open, which does leave him susceptible to another Broly Crown. But, I mean, what is he going to pick out of his hand? A Kai? He's got another Kai. He's got plenty of power bursts. He could grab more Gokus if he combos 1 off. It has 0 combo power, but sometimes you just want it back in the drop so you can power burst it.
We'll pay 1 for this Goku.
Alright, so it's a 1-drop cantrip, and then he's probably going to boost it up and use that as Alliance power for Piccolo, so if Brandon doesn't negate this upcoming attack from Piccolo, it's going to be a really strong attack.
We are going to... We are going to...
So he did have to warp a card. I would have to read the unison, but I know Brandon did the -2, but maybe it adds a cost to warping a card every time he swings.
Okay, my autos will resolve first. Yes, sir. I will tap Vegeta. I will draw 2 and burn you for 1.
Alright, so he's doing the burn. And the nice thing about picking the Vegeta is it's going to come back in active mode.
Just gonna stick over. Yeah, you can just a corner just so I don't forget.
So Kai warps a card.
That's good. I will attempt to swing Weep. We are going to...
So now he's in trouble. So now he's got to decide if he wants to negate this.
Second one?
It'd be smart to negate this one just for the fact that he could do double strike and go for game.
Okay.
Now we do see the Pan Secret Rare that Dane has, which could buy him a turn because it's definitely free. If he gets a double strike, another double strike Champa, Pan would be very, very nice to put that on top of.
We are going to get rid of...
Alright, so Dane's just picking away at his hand. So Brandon started with a big hand, and now it's slowly becoming a normal size hand. Dane's is still a little on the low side, but he's got quite a field. But with Hachiyak, it doesn't matter how wide the field is unless it's defense. And some of it does seem to be a little defensive, but most of it is just for alliance power. And if an attack goes through, that alliance is going to make it super, super strong. He does have Brainwashed in hand, so he can't really go in with a double strike.
Now we gotta think.
Unless he purposely makes him do Brainwash just for the critical effect. So now we have 6 energy. We could do Fu Shroud it, but just the threat of that surge ability is probably making him not want to do that unless he baits it out right now. With Pan in hand, it might just... I mean, he doesn't know Pan's in hand, but it might just be best to do Demagra just to whittle out that hand, being so small as it is.
What do we do here?
Both players with 13 cards left in deck, so it's getting pretty low. It's almost like putting a clock on it, especially now that Brendan has Oceanus. That really makes it hard for him to push through.
I would never.
And Dane could only do the Alliance Piccolo so many more times because he's just going to deck himself out if he keeps doing it.
What do I do here? All right.
So as much as our battle cards in our hand are sources, or resources that we have to think of when it gets to a late game, like with Hachiak or with Mill, your deck size does become a resource you have to consider too.
I will warp.
So he plays the Pan for free. Not really necessary to play it for the auto, but I think he just wanted to get it out before his hand gets whittled away, probably. Trying to think, why else would he want to play Pan? Now it's just susceptible to being popped if he has like maybe another Demagra or something to play. He could do the Gogeta, but I think Gogeta allows the player to choose which cards get killed.
That's fine. Revenge. Yep.
Alright, so he's finally getting rid of that Demagra with a Revenge.
Alright, so no more battle card attacks, correct?
Now Black Mass Saiyan does not trigger because of Pan's a 40k.
We are going to swing at... We'll swing at leader.
There's another Demagra. Now, it would be no point to play the Demagra this turn because he can't swing again with it unless he just wants to use it for removal and maybe possibly remove that Pan.
I will...
I believe if Pan is in the warp, she can't use her other effect of stealing battle cards, but I would have to reread that.
We're gonna tap 2 or for another Demigra.
Yeah, so he's
and I will warp the Pan.
Yeah, so he's just gonna get rid of that Pan. I'm pretty sure Pan doesn't have the other effect. Brandon gets to draw another card.
Unison will swing at leader. I am going to do Shocking Death Ball. No negates. I will block Vegeta. Okay. Ignore. I don't have that. I don't have that card. Yep. So he's slow rolling me. Yeah. Vegeta will restand.
So he wanted to do Shocking Death Ball, but he realized he has a red energy open, so he's just gonna probably block. It looks like.
No combo 15. And then with that, I will pass my turn to you.
And again, that Vegeta being 16k,
I didn't pass on
it's
the
just
last one. That's my bad.
Brandon would have to commit cards to killing it. So Dane's still charging at this point.
Well,
so
third time's a charm. Swing lead. Goku skill. We are going to...
Okay, I think he meant to do the Goku skill first. He's going to draw 2 from Piccolo. No burn damage, though.
Vegeta, and the draw 2. And for the Oceanus, I will drop my Boo. You have how many in hand? 7? 7, yes.
So now that you drew Fighting Against Fates, that would be really nice to be able to use maybe next turn, because since it has dual attack, it could get around Hatch's ability of only being able to have 1 swing per turn. Especially if he does like, I don't know if he could combo the Champa. So Champa has some restrictions to what it could give double strike. That might be 20k or lower, or maybe 25k or lower. I would have to double check on that.
Oh, do you? And I do not complain about other people's decks.
But if it does give him the double strike, it would be for the turn.
I made Golden Frieza, dude. If you've tried to push through a Meki Kabata and a Riposte, it's a whole different deal. Yeah. It's really just wish I had that another Broly crown here.
So Dane still has that ability under his Surge Leader, but now he's like wondering, does he want to push through an Oceanus, especially since he could just block with it? 10 cards left in deck. Why mill 4? Like, you're just losing another turn there. He does know that Fu Shredder is going to be offline at least for the next turn unless he combos off everything.
Yeah, I saw the pan. I was like a little relieved, but like also like, oh my god. Nah, man, I used to play it, but the only decks that you want it against are blue and yellow. Yeah, and they will counterplay it. Yep. Or Final Flash. Now I can combo again. It's like, well, great. We're just gonna play that. My Black Mass Saiyan is gonna go off. No, it is reduced to 0, not played by a skill. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotcha. Yeah, you got me. Oh, we should just have that. Actually, players gotta try, man. We gotta try to get all we can. Oh yeah, for sure. Oppressed, really. We'll just pass turn. Vegeta will restand. We'll draw. Okay, so I don't think. I'm gonna charge this, even though I'm not gonna charge that. I am gonna charge this. I'm not. We're gonna charge this card. That one. We are going to.
So Brandon really wants to keep the defense in his hand. He's keeping those brainwashes. I don't know why he wants to keep 2, but he can only really use one of them. Unless he wants to overwhelm. But he doesn't really have anything in the drop. Oh, so there's the spice right there. He just drew his secret rare. Secret rare that has been seen for a long time, Smoke Dragon. And Smoke Dragon could do 2 things in this situation. I think he has 3 effects, but he could wipe the board, which would hurt him a lot. Or he can, I think he could hit the hand too, but that would hurt a little bit, but not too much. Well, now that Majin Buu brings him down to 3 cards in hand, the Smoke Dragon's effect of, I think, discarding 2 would be very hurtful, actually. But the third effect would be mill 7 and draw 1, I think it is. So being this low on life, or on deck total, Smoke Dragon could possibly go for a mill win. He only has 1 card in the drop, so Smoke Dragon actually is a 10 cost. I think he needs 12 battle cards in the drop, maybe? Or is it 12 cards in the drop? Might even be 10. I would have to reread it. But he definitely does not meet the requirement because he did overwhelm the previous turn. So he would have to just combo off a lot of cards if he wants to do Smoke Dragon. But he has enough defense to maybe possibly wait for the next turn. So he's just going to pass turn.
All good. We are going to.
So he has a blocker. He has 3 negates, and 2 of those power bursts can just get more negates.
We are going to.
So with that much energy open, he probably could survive this turn pretty easily, especially with Hatch only having like maybe 2 or 3 swings per turn. So I think Brandon should be fine defensively. It doesn't look like Dane has much in his hand. He has quite a good big battlefield, but again, what can he do if like he has a blocker? He's just gonna block his Piccolo attack.
This is like, do I try to do something or do I just continue to sit and do nothing?
Oh, it's my mistake. I thought Brandon passed turn, but it is the start of Brandon's turn.
Yeah, there's like a big sit and do nothing. the I don't know. Let's. I +1 on my unison. Let's. Let's swing at your leader. Pitch to, please. Yes, sir. I will pitch this, and I will pitch this. I will block with my guy, right? Cheetah here.
So it looks like Brandon really is probably going to commit to that Smoke Dragon move, or the Fu Shrouded.
Super combo to go into Gogeta for me.
But now that Boo's on the field, he will have to discard cards in hand, which is fine actually at this point because he wants cards in the drop. So we'll see which strategy he goes for, either the Fu or the Smoke Dragon.
Last round of store championships, I made it my thing. We had 5 of them, so I wanted to be the Rainbow King and win one with a different deck each, or with a different color deck. And Hashiak was the black deck I played. So we're gonna combo. Yep. We're going to. That's the bottom. Thank you. Oh, 2.
Now he's got Oceanus, so now he could just live another turn. Oh, no, he's just going to combo off that Oceanus. So it looks like he really wants to get those battle cards to the drop, and looks like he might just have enough. He's got 3 in the drop already. He might be able to do it if he just combos everything if he really wants to. Now, Dane is going to have to figure out... I don't think he blocked, so he might be going down to 1 from this.
Um, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60K.
Now, Dane does have a lot of energy open and a few 10Ks on the field.
Who's right?
Oh, no, so he did block. Okay.
No. Gogeta? No.
So Dane knows he overcommitted way too much. Something's going on. Fu Shrouded seems like the likely culprit. But, again,
we're going to do this.
He's already under the effect with Boo, which Fu won't stop since that's already going on. And he has the surge ability, so Fu would be a bad move.
I'm going to whoop your board.
At this point, he's not going to mill him out next turn. I think it's mill 7, and he would draw 1, so he would have 2 cards left in deck. At this point, it is just best to just kill off all offense except for his leader.
This is either going to pay off really well, or it's going to show how greedy he works. There's a few other lines of play you could have done, but let's continue.
I don't know. I wanted to try to get this, but we'll see what happens.
So like I was saying during this match, this could pay off really well, or this could be the thing that this move is going to determine the match. Either it helps him or hurts him. It's a good top deck, and unfortunately, Brandon has 2 power bursts. So
that's really unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
Where'd he go? Coming back. I was like, where did he go?
So Dane can't even draw from his leader. He's going to have to just push through and hopefully get that double strike off. He can draw with the Chi-Chi card and see 1 more card. And then he probably has a super combo in his drop if he decides to use the double strike ability. Now, Dane should try to pop off that Smoke Dragon with the Broly effect at this point, but it's an activate battle, so he has to have a battle. Unfortunately, he just negated it. He just grabbed another Goku. So he essentially has like 3 negates this turn, and Dane could swing a Broly Crown just to get the popping effect if he really wants to. But is that a good move or a bad move? I guess we'll find out.
What's that? Black Smoke Dragon. Man, I honestly bottom decked the food with my super combo because I wanted to get enough to really are in Surge format. The Black Smoke Dragon is a feature rare choice here. Kai's good, but like Pan, I didn't do Pan in here because like if I take a battle card, like I am going to swing at your leader. Oh no, I'm going to go through that.
Yeah, so he has to negate here. It's a waste of a negate, but you know he has to keep that Smoke Dragon alive.
Okay, so I'm gonna to make you make a choice then. I'm going to pay 1 for Chi-Chi and pass turn. Oh, no.
So he's gonna just play Chi-Chi because of he's gonna have to discard a card anyway. Might as well keep that alive. He could just rip the hand anyway, so
Man, choice here, huh?
he's got another power burst, so he's not dying anytime soon.
Negro swing hat leader. I will negate with shocking death ball. Okay. I will kill Goku.
So that was a smart move to play the Chi-Chi because he would have to warp, and if he was going to negate anyway, he would have to lose the Chi-Chi. So he's keeping that card, possibly for combo power. So that was a very smart move.
I'm going to make you mill 7 cards. That's a pretty good one. And I will draw 2.
Now, in hindsight, the smarter move actually might have been from Dane to actually let that attack go through, and then he would have been able to pop the Smoke Dragon, because Brandon should have milled right away, because if that attack did go through and was not negated, he could have just popped it right there, and then there goes Brandon's win condition right there, because I think Dane had more cards in deck, so Brandon would have milled out first. Now, Brandon has an Oceanus, so maybe Dane would not have pushed through, but now he's got 2 cards in deck, so Dane has to win next turn. Now, Brandon's debating, does he want to push through? I mean, he just needs to live this turn.
15. I'm with this Chi-Chi and drop 1.
At this point, Dane could kill the Smoke Dragon, but there's really no point. He probably just wants the double strike.
Oh, I have 1 card in deck? Yeah. Broly, I will combo with Paragus out of my drop area. I will kill myself instead.
So right there, Dane made a mistake by drawing with Chi-Chi with 2 cards left in deck.
Broly Crown earlier or Rosie.
So he could have had 1 more turn, but I don't think it was going to happen with that hand that Brandon had.
Yeah, I know with that.
All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. It looks like El Topo Loco is taking the first game, and
I'm sorry, crew. I wasn't playing the yellow decks. I'm sorry, I messed up.
And then in the next few days, I am going to be playing against Chris, and maybe we'll have a red player versus red player match. We'll see how it goes, but we'll try to do that on webcam. And then finally, in a few days, we'll also try to get the captains down, Jonic and Miguel from El Topo Loco. Well, subscribe if you like. Let us know if you have any questions, comments. Thank you.
Same, man. Appreciate it. Fun game as well.
And we look forward to playing.
It wasn't boring. You know what I mean? It wasn't quick. You didn't want to play against Icarus again? I could have done it. I was not okay with that. Could have done it. I'm a yellow player, I guess.
And hopefully we'll see a lot of players in the future for this Team Wars event. And I know a lot of people have contacted us about it. But we'll like to keep the series going, so let us know if you're interested. Have a good one, everybody. Stay loco.
All right. See you guys.